Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at Pepe, seeing what's going on, of course. We're going to pay attention to, well, volume. Going to redraw out some new Fibonacci retracement levels, see kind of where we're at, because we did lose both these ascending triangle patterns that broke to the downside. That really just implies there's a lot of selling pressure, and it's no wonder why. I mean, take a look at how much price action there is here to go ahead and take some profits from. A lot of folks are still in the green. We got to recognize that, and those are the folks that took a large position sizing. They're individuals that are not you and I. They are more institutional traders taking a lot of profit. You also got to recognize too that this is one of those things where we're seeing a lot more leverage opportunities now too, and that changes the dynamic as well with volume and volatility. Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute, but bottom line is we're not in dire straits, but we got to recognize there is some obvious signs here. Okay, so if you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, love to teach people to trade, hope you can learn something here today. Please help us grow our Twitter community, and thank you so much to all those who are currently engaging and helping us become better, if you will. Keep in mind too, we need to recognize that we have these nice, awesome giveaways here. So be sure to like, retweet, and follow us, and you'll be eligible for potential free month membership for Crypto Cash Premium. And also, of course, you want to be in the know for any fundamental technical data. It's all here right on Twitter. So make sure you enable alerts and like every single message if and when possible. Okay, obviously, if it's good, you like it. If it's not, don't worry about it. But just saying, it's fun to be able to have that interaction with a lot of different folks, and it's get to know some really cool people in the world. So really cool things there. So what we want to look at is Pepe. Well, what's going on? How much lower can it go? Well, let's go ahead and draw out some new Fibonacci retracement levels. I'm speculating we might see a test here of about 178 or 179, maybe round number 180. Let's see if it lines up on our Fibonacci retracement, because ultimately what we want to do with these new Fib levels is kind of to see roughly where we're at, okay? And what we want to do is kind of zoom in a little bit and take a look, and we can see that there's a pretty stark reality here. Look at that, 1.618, almost exactly at 180,000. So to me, that would be a good dollar cost average target, just based on the simple fact that that is an area in which we saw the most amount of resistance here recently. While there isn't a tremendous amount of volume between here and there, it's still a lot of resistance was there previously, so we got to assume it's going to work as a support. That's generally how it's supposed to work. Now, this support range didn't work at all. Like, it just kind of blasted almost straight through that within 8 hours. But you got to keep in mind, the market is completely red today, and there's nothing really going on whatsoever that is remotely positive. Okay, so again, a lot of stuff there. Keep that in mind. But that being said, what we want to look at is a few things here, because I know we talked about the simple moving average yesterday, and that the 20-day simple moving average was working as a potential support. I also mentioned too, with these trend lines, they'll be your friend until they aren't, right? In other words, the trend is your friend until it discontinues, essentially. So now that we lost that, we can expect that to no longer be our friend, and that this next potential trend line here, the simple moving average here at about 184,000, could potentially be a good bouncing point. So my money here is on the 180 to 184 range. The price comes down to that level, that'd probably be a good bouncing point. That would be my speculation. Okay, so I would say try to be patient based on what we see here so far. We still got a little bit more TA to do, of course, but the 4-hour time frame, just look at some of the obvious indicators. We lost our key level support. We're now under 50 on the RSI. These are typically disadvantageous scenarios. We can see a little bit more money's coming in though, and it's a good sign. The money is starting to flow back into this coin. It tends to do that when you start seeing better price points or prices that are a little bit more attractive to other folks. Okay, so we got that going on. We've also got the MACD here still diverging, so there's really no reason to take a long position right now. Obviously, spot trading is different. If you're adding to your position for a long-term hold, that's a different story. But keep in mind, this is a meme coin. A lot of these coins, unfortunately, they have these strong ramps up and then inevitably a dump, and a lot of folks are left in some high positions for a very long time. Okay, so just keep that in mind. This is happening also with Wojak as well. Okay, so there's a lot of things you can kind of see here that should happen, but they're not happening because they're all kind of coinciding together. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's dropping and altcoin dominance hasn't increased at all. Okay, so when altcoin dominance stays the same and Bitcoin price goes down, that tells us there's a lot of profits being taken based on the last couple weeks of trading being a little bit higher than before. All right, so again, that all factors in here. That's one other reason why you want to follow our Twitter, because we do have a lot of relevant, important updates that are consistent with what I'm referring to here that I think you should be aware of. That said, though, 4-hour time frame, we can summarize here, not looking great. We have further downside potential. In fact, one last thing we want to take a quick look at is TD sequential. We're at a 4, so we could literally see 5 more 4-hour candlesticks, 20 hours of continuation of the downside without any resistance at all. Okay. So I'm leading. This leads me to believe 180,000, 180 is a pretty realistic price point to shoot for. So if you're going to DCA, that'd be a great target to shoot for. Secondary to that, keep in mind we have another fib level at 1.414. That's at 196. Okay. So just some friendly figures there for you. Again, it could very well turn itself around right now, totally. But the TA so far is telling us the price wants to continue lower, and it makes sense that it does because we lost these trend lines here and effectively didn't hold that support level, okay? Now, whenever a support breaks, you want to kind of expect it to work as a resistance. So we can expect moving forward 282, if the price ever comes back up there, will potentially be a resistance. And we'll leave that line there for later just in case that were to happen. So on the hourly, what do we look at? Well, it doesn't look great for any of the oscillators there. What we want to take a quick peek though at is TD sequential and see where we're at here. We got down to a 9, and we hit a little bit of overtime, now we're down to a 3. So there's potential for another 7 more hours continuation down. Once again, 7 to 20 hours, right? So I know that sounds crazy. It's like, man, how much lower can it go? Well, keep in mind it can keep going down, and just because it hits a 9 doesn't mean it's going to turn itself around like it has before, okay? So we did hit that 9, we hit that support range. Truth be told, this support range did help us a lot for the moment, but we just saw a dump here in the last 2 hours where the price dropped below that. So we can expect that to be a new resistance level at 220,000. So 220 is effectively a resistance zone right now. So the price comes up to that level, might be a consideration to add a short there, if you will. Again, I don't like to short into this coin or even go long at this point. I'm more of a spot trader when it comes to these coins. I know there's a lot of folks making a killing on that, but it's just one of those things where there's so much volatility at this moment. It might be best to wait until there's an established trend. Okay, and in this case here, we can see the established trend right now is down. Okay, we keep getting rejected these lower high patterns. Okay, so we're just going to pay attention to that. In fact, we'll go ahead and pull this out a little bit further, just so we can kind of see here tomorrow what this might look like. So for lack of better terms here, everything is bearish. We see a pretty stark reality here that the Ichimoku cloud is working as a strong resistance. We've got the conversion line below the baseline, that's bearish. We've got the lagging span free and clear, that's bearish. And we're underneath the cloud. So this doesn't tell us you want to open a short, but this is saying that if you have one open, you consider leaving it open because there's no reason to take profits yet. It hasn't continued further down. Like there's no consolidation or sideways effort at this exact moment to warrant a long position. Okay, so try to be cautious and careful if you take a long right now. There is potential it could just bounce, but there's not a lot of support here. I mean, we do have this small Fibonacci retracement level at 1.272, but generally speaking, it would make a lot more sense for this 1.618 at 180,000 be retested and then to potentially bounce from there. But once again, we're making lower highs, lower lows, consistently drawing down. We're below all moving averages for the most part, including relative strength and simple moving averages. The only thing we have holding the price action potentially in place is that SMA on the 4 hour, right there at 180,000, averaging itself out. That could hold the price in place. Okay. So again, I hope the price bounces from here, and I'm totally wrong. But a lot of times in these downtrends, you can expect it to continue because there's so much meat left on this bone here that it makes perfect sense that the profits will be taken. Just note if we lose this 180 range, that 1.618 Fibonacci level, there's a lot of support here based on this previous resistance zone right there at about 150. So 150 and 180 are two key level supports we want to pay attention to and make sure that we kind of, I don't know, just remain cautiously optimistic, if you will, all right? Let's not be naive. This could very well come down lower. Just saying, I love this coin, but I can tell you that there's plenty more profits to be taken, especially from a bear's standpoint. So that's where we're at there. Hopefully that makes sense for you. Obviously, you want to become a better trader and you want to learn more about how to do this yourself. CryptoCash.tech is the website, link down below. We do offer trading academy, signals, and community. We took some healthy profits last week from our swing trades, and right now we're in a Bitcoin long, kind of averaged closer to 28K. Okay, so hopefully that will work itself out positively. You never truly know in this market, so make sure you use low leverage and low position sizing if you are using leverage, to ensure you don't get wrecked, right? We use cross margin, but we use small position sizes, so that way if things turn around on us, we're still okay in the long run. And once again, we're bringing day trades to the community here in the next week or two. Very excited for that. All right, keep up the good work. Oh, if you want to see the day trading results, keep that in mind. We have those posted here on our Twitter as well. And if you're kind of curious of what that looks like, we are trading currently Solana, BNB, XRP, and ETH for a very, very decent profit and loss ratio. It's very positive. I think it's somewhere in the range of 8 to 10% average. So it's really cool, very consistent. Check that out. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you on the next one.